But let's now bring in political analyst Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast to weigh in on the ANC celebrations and the challenge by its former president, Jacob Zuma. In fact, Prof, very good afternoon to you. I want to start, in fact, right there with the former president, Jacob Zuma matter. Perhaps start with the intention and the purpose of the letter written by his lawyers on behalf of Jacob Zuma, demanding, among other things, that he be reinstated, to the ANC. Mbalula, of course, has described Zuma's letter as mischievous and self-serving and an attempt to divert attention. To what extent do you think those words by Mbalula ring true in terms of the intent by the former president?
Unati, I want to make three strategic points. First things first, I think Msholozi is within his right to challenge the outcome of the DC. The beauty about our constitution is that Section 2 says that the constitution is the supreme law of the land, and anything that is inconsistent with it must be declared as invalid. So I don't think that in that regard he's off the mark. I think he's on point. And I'm not saying that he has a winnable case, but in terms of policy or in terms of a procedure, if he's unhappy about how he was treated, I think he has a right to institute a legal action. The second point is that, but when you look at the arguments that are advanced in that text of the letter, they don't make sense. Right? Because on the one hand, Msholozi broke away from the ANC. It's an open secret that he established a party called Umkhonto weSizwe. And of late, he has been referred to in that party. In the constitution of that party, he's referred to as the president of that political party. But on the other hand, he wants his membership of his previous party to be brought back. That beats me. Because why would you want to wear two caps? You're talking about organizations that don't have any strategic a relationship, right? So I don't think that he has a winnable case. But what I can deduce from this is that he is framing a discourse. He is framing a narrative that he did not walk out of his previous party by himself and that he was kicked out of his previous party. No wonder he has instituted a legal action. But reading between the lines, I don't think that he's got a winnable case, even though he has a constitutional a provision to question the outcome of the DC of the ANC.
Let's turn our focus then on the big day. It's the 113th anniversary of the party. How should the leader of the party and, in fact, those that come also alongside him celebrate this day while also taking stock of the party's history, reflecting on the relevance, achievements, and also failures, given that this celebration is under this backdrop of falling well below the 50% mark after the 2024 elections. And of course, we've seen some utterances and scenes also in Cape Town ahead of today, where you could already see that on the ground, people may not necessarily share the same sentiment of a party that really is serving the needs of the people today.
January the 8th statement is very symbolic because it has a historical context. During the epoch of apartheid, former President Oliver Tambo used to use the statement as a platform to advocate for a way forward of the ANC. But then the party also decided to align its January the 8th statement with the program of action of government. But the challenge is that I think the party has tended to overplay its collective memory. It has tended to overplay its history of a liberation by basically thinking that because it has a rich history, it stands a better chance of holding on to power all the time. Now, we've seen that narrative, it doesn't work anymore, that we have a new crop of new voters now who don't vote in relation to historical factors, So I think the romanticism of the past or the glorification of history, I think that line of thinking, it doesn't work anymore for the ANC. In order for the ANC to bounce back to power, it will have to improve services in government.
Just talking about romanticizing the future, or the past rather, just taking stock of what was said by the Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, during his walkabout session in Khayelitsha, where the rally is going to be taking place on Saturday. What do you make of those statements, where they are saying that the DA-led Western Cape province really has been neglecting the people of Khayelitsha and that the ANC will right the wrongs that the DA has been making over these years?
Well, the ANC is not in power in the Western Cape. It is a political opposition. And I think it is within its right to basically frame a narrative for itself and pitch it to its audience. But I'm not sure about the validity of those assertions. But the evidence, though, is palpable. The evidence of inequality between the haves and the have-nots. But then also the ANC at some point was in power in the Western Cape. I can't remember when it was, I think between 2004 and 2009, and did not do well in my view. But also, again, the ANC was in power at local government level in the city of Cape Town, also was voted out. So the ANC also missed a golden opportunity to improve the lives of the people of the Western Cape for the better.